Reardon.
Good morning to you. It's Thursday morning, Thursday the 21st of October 2021. Welcome along to this morning's little chat show coming to you from Bracknell in Berkshire after my mini holiday yesterday, a mini holiday of 24 hours and a lovely day. Went to Legoland yesterday. Left here around about I think it was about 9 o'clock to go to Legoland, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, just like on Tuesday, I opened the door. Don't need a coat. Wow, didn't need a coat at all. Walked to my car in my t-shirt, you know, and tracky bottoms, and no coat required. How lucky were we with the weather yesterday? Couldn't believe it. Anyway, we had a lovely day. Got to the hotel round about where my nephew and his family were staying, around about 9:30 in the morning. And they had a little gold get in for free type thing. This was a free holiday for them because when they stayed there, I think it's over 2 years ago now, when they stayed there, a couple of things were wrong. Do you know what I mean? And my nephew's wife is very good at complaining. Very, very good at complaining. I just walk away usually. Some people are very good at complaining. My nephew's wife is one of them, and also my best mate is one of them. And they get things, and they basically got a free holiday with more trimmings than the first one, which they would have paid for. But nevertheless, that was it. And I went to the front desk in the hotel where they were staying. There's two hotels there. There's the Legoland Hotel and the Castle Hotel. I think one is slightly better than the other. I'm not sure which way round it is. But got to the front desk and said, yeah, my nephew's staying here. Oh, okay, I've got one of these. What do I do with this? Oh, well, if you go through with him, ask him to come down and get you through, and he'll take you through and take this to the guest services reception or something like that, I think it was called. Can't remember there. By the way, if you're watching the show this morning, welcome along. If you're in a chat box or typing comments for me to read, I don't see those. To join in, please send an email. There's the email address there, my loves. Or you can send a text. 07451 287 337 is my text number, okay? And I'll come to some of those in a few moments or two. So we went through. First of all, they were having breakfast, so Gary had to leave his breakfast, my nephew. Come down. I went back up and I walked straight into the breakfast place. And this lady came straight. Would you like to sit down? Would you like anything? I said, oh, no, I'm all right. I've already had breakfast before I came out, you see. I didn't know I was entitled to a breakfast. Or maybe I wasn't entitled to a breakfast. The place does seem to be run by kids, basically. Very young people. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but everyone is quite young. And it has to be said, as it was 2 years ago, sometimes these kids are run, and they don't seem to be knowing completely what they're doing, all of them. I'm sure they do, but that's how it appears. Anyway, I was offered like a full breakfast, which I turned down. If I'd have known I could have had one of those, I probably would have done. Whether or not I was entitled to it, I don't know, but no one checked. You know, but I didn't. Anyway, not even so much as a cup of tea. So we had that. And then we went through to this gate where the gate is, and bloke had a list of names, ticked everything off, and then just let us through, which I thought he would have said, can we see the gold coin? And we started on the rides. And it was lovely, really. I mean, it is a nice place. Incredibly clean. Very, very clean there. You're hard pushed to find a bit of rubbish on the floor, except for the bit where... I don't know what was there now. Actually, where the guest services is. There was a bit of rubbish on the floor down there, and also groups of people. I think that's where they all congregate to do their bits and pieces. But apart from that, it was absolutely spotless, this place. And we went around on the rides and had a lovely time. Now, I have today for you, I am wearing... Now, 1 minute. Oh, hang on, pushed a button there. That shouldn't be pushed. I'm wearing my new Lego... you want one of these, don't you? Would you like me to stand up for you? There we go. Look at that. Legoland Windsor. Oh, look. I do need a bra, don't I? My new Legoland Windsor T-shirt. And I haven't bought this because I wanted a souvenir of Legoland. Oh, no. That's not the reason I've got this, let me tell you. Oh, no. We went on this boat thing. Do I need to say any more? Now, I'm not one for roller coasters, okay? And I have been around the resort before doing bits and pieces, but you don't remember everything. Some of the rides we went on this submarine, and that was really good, the submarine. Okay, so this thing, it's like goes down. And it doesn't go underwater, not really. It just goes down so far, but it is in water, and you can see all these fish swimming around and sharks, little sharks. And mate, really good, really good. Although there were only 5 of us in there. It was fairly quiet in there, I must say, the whole resort as a whole. But that has the added advantage, of course, of not having to queue for rides and things. Okay? Now, if you want, you can buy this queue jump ticket thing. Okay? Now, my nephew and his family had one of these for all of us as part of this particular free holiday that they were given. They were given these free passes. So even when there was a little bit of a queue, we just jumped straight in. That's what this pass allows you to do. And I said to I haven't checked prices or anything before I'd done the show this morning. I haven't had time. But I said to my nephew's wife, how much is this queue jumping thing? Apparently, if you want to buy the queue jumping thing for Legoland, it's £90, £90 per person. I said, what about the child? No, she said 90. £90 per person. So for the 5 of us would have come to something like 450, 500 quid. Just to jump queues. That's an astonishing amount of money. That is outrageous. Don't you think? To jump the queues, if you didn't want to jump the queues, you could buy this pass thing, £90 per person. Are some of these places just for rich people now? Are these families with like 2 or 3 children, perhaps no one's working for whatever reason, just about scrape together the money to go and visit Legoland for the day? I'm sure the price of a ticket isn't anywhere near that to actually go into the door. Seems a hell of a lot of money to me. Don't you find everything is a little bit expensive at the moment? I'm sorry, I've got sore eyes this morning. I am getting this in the morning. My eyes are getting sore. I think it's because I'm getting up so early, but there we are. Anyway, so £90 a ticket. Back to this little submarine. So the submarine goes down and you see fishes and things. I have got lots of little video clips which I'll put them all together and make a video over the next few days, all right? I'll upload it to this channel. What else did we go on? This ninja thing where you do that and it like fires bullets out from this little car thing, and that's quite good. I think our favourite one was the flight of the snow lion, which I gather is a fairly new thing. And you go on these seats things, and then it starts. You've got to have straps on and all that business. And this whole thing turns around, right? And you're basically watching a huge cinema screen, and it's a flight. This thing flies through rocks and over the sea, but it, just look straight at the screen and you're in it. And it is the weirdest thing because you're not really moving that far. I think the seat tips back and tips forward. It's very clever how it's all done. And there were points where when it kind of come down like that and there's rocks underneath you, I felt myself lifting my legs in case my feet scraped on the rocks at the bottom. That's how good it is. And we thought that was really good. Probably my favourite part of the whole day. Well, almost my favourite part of the all day, or of the whole day, was that particular ride. I think it was the Snow Lion ride or something like that it was called. I mentioned the ninja thing. Great nephew Harry and great niece Evie, they went on this swing thing that goes round and round and round. What else did we do? The train is working now. There's this train that takes you up and down a really steep hill. To be honest, you want to take that train up the hill because it's a blooming hard walk, that is, especially if you've got a pram. When we had great niece Olivia with us, rest in peace, I remember my nephew's wife and my nephew struggling to push the very heavy pram up this hill. It's very steep. You want to get the train to go up there. And at the top of the hill is the Lego store with so much Lego in there. It's unbelievable. Expensive and cheap. It depends what you want. You can get a cup of tea up there and all that business. So that was up there. We come down. We got the little mini electric cars that the children go on, and when they complete the circuit or something of that, they get a little driver's license badge, which they love collecting things, don't they, children? Did you used to collect things as a child? Stamps or perhaps Cub Scout badges or something like that? Did you? I was camp cook. Funny that, isn't it? And there was another boat thing. What was the other boat thing? Oh, they were like giant tires. Giant tires that float in the water, and you go down this thing and you keep spinning around as it hits the side of the sort of waterway. That was quite good. Didn't get too wet on that one, but the reason I've got this is because we did get a soaking. Well, not all of us, because there were 5 of us. Some of the rides were like maximum of 4 people, so we tend to do 3 and 2, right? Either I was with Evie or Gary and Harry. Just depends what the kids wanted to do, really. So that was nice. And in this particular boat thing, it goes around and it lulls you into a false sense of security. It really does. So you get on this boat and it goes around this circuit and you can't really see much. It's vegetation and Lego models either side. It was all very well done, to be honest. And it goes slowly around this thing like that. And it's quite nice. I'm in the boat, so there's Gary at the front, Harry in the middle, and me at the back. And the other boat was Stacey and Evie. And they're in front of us. So we're going around this. And it's out of all the things, it's actually quite a long ride, I suppose. We're in there a few minutes, going around there. And then suddenly you get to this thing and it starts going up like at a steep angle. So there's something on the other side. It's going up like this, and it gets to the top, and then you go through this like shed thing. I think with other models of Lego models and stuff like that. You're going through this shed thing and along the top there, right? And then you get to the top, and it just stops, and it goes down. Now I'm not one for roller coasters. I can't lie to you. I quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed it coming down there, except at the bottom. You drop into a load of water. And we got absolutely soaked. Now, I said to you the weather was really nice, and we were lucky with that. But later on in the day, we did feel the wind kind of turn around and start coming from the north instead of the south. And it did make a difference. And me and Gary and Harry, we got absolutely soaked. Not a bit wet, soaked from this splash. So the boat comes to a standstill and we get off. And there's Stacey and Evie. Not a bleeding drop of water on them. How is that we got soaked and they didn't get wet at all? So, of course, she's laughing, isn't she? Harry and Evie's mother laughing her head off. Oh, look at you, all wet. So we then went to this drying thing, which is like a giant, I don't know what it's like, a giant box that you stand in, and then it doesn't tell you how much it is. But Stacey touched her phone on it, and this thing burst into life, and it's quite hot jets of hot air coming at you, and some infrared bulbs pointing into the actual box itself. And we were in there over 5 minutes, I will say that. After which, the wetness on us felt warm, but we were still wet. So it was only a matter of time while we were walking around again and we started feeling cold again. So that is why I've got a new T-shirt. I mean, they've sussed that out. They must know that if we get people soaking wet like that, they're going to go into our shop and buy a T-shirt, aren't they? So Gary was the first in there. He bought a T-shirt. They got Harry a new T-shirt. And I bought this one, 20 quid for a t-shirt. I mean, it looks nice, doesn't it? I must admit, I quite like the bright colours on that. Yeah, makes a difference of wearing a shirt in the morning as well, doesn't it? But just how it is, really. So I got my t-shirt and I went round the corner. It was quite funny. I came out of the shop that sold the t-shirts, just round the corner, trying to be out of sight of people. Well, I've got nowhere to change. It's not like changing rooms. No changing rooms. And I took the shirt on. I'm taking the shirt out of the bag. No, I didn't have a bag. I got the shirt like this, and I'm taking the tags off. And I'm taking my shirt out, at which point a security man came through and looked at me strangely. I thought, oh, Christ, he thinks I blooming nicked this now. Always take your receipt. Always take. So, like sometimes you're in the supermarket. Do you want your receipt? Absolutely. Do you want your receipt? Yes, you do. What if someone stops you? It's in the co-op. Do you want your receipt? Yes, please. I don't want to be stopped. Excuse me, have you nicked that? That happened to me in a BP garage the other day. Yeah, I was walking up to my mate's house. I went in for 2 bags of crisps. I also had a baguette in my carrier bag from the co-op, which I'd picked up earlier. And he says, "Oh, what's that there? Is that baguette from us?" Well, I would have put it on the bloody counter if it was from me, wouldn't I? Why would I pay for 2 bags of crisps and, in full view of everyone, be holding a baguette in a bag in front of you, idiot? I thought to myself, always keep that receipt. Anyway, he didn't come over. He carried on. I think he realised we were soaking wet. And that did improve the situation. But you see, by now we'd cooled down. And the wind had changed direction as well. So I was quite cold at this point. But we carried on regardless. And I think we did another couple of rides. And that was it. Halfway through the day, we went to my favourite part of Legoland. Well, where do you think that is? My favourite thing in Legoland is the all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. Yes, and that's gone up and all. That's gone up as well. If you book it in advance, it's 30% cheaper, but I think it's £15 per adult. And we filled up a plate. I mean, I love that. And you just go up and help yourself to the bits and pieces, okay, pizzas. Strangely enough, everyone's touching these pizza spatula type things to put a bit of pizza on your plate and whatever, which isn't very like COVID thing. And I mention that because they used to have an all-you-can-eat type dinner thing there at night as well in the sort of part of the hotel. Well, Stacey had booked that up for all of us, but when she looked into it, it is not like that anymore, right? You get a choice of several items, and I believe the plate is brought to you now. Now, she knows this because she spoke to another person who was at the Legoland. I'm really sorry, my eyes are itching like mad this morning. They really are. I'm having a bit of a problem. Maybe I'm just getting up too early to do this. I don't know. But yes, a lady who she spoke to said it wasn't worth the money. We're not greedy or anything like that, but we quite like the all-you-can-eat. It's very American, that is. You go to lots of these places in America, they are buffets. They're basically buffets. Go and have what you want. One could argue that's why so many of them are really badly overweight. But we have the same here now anyway, and we don't have all-you-can-eat buffets here. You can restrict yourself, no problem at all, is it? But I do like that all-you-can-eat thing. You just go up, load it on. I fancy a little bit more now. You go and have a little bit more. You never go back more than twice, do you? And you don't fill the plate twice, unless you're one of those stupid people like you get at the Toby Carvery. Have you seen them? They stack this plate so high, and then they end up throwing a third of the food away, which, in my mind, that's criminal to me. Throwing food away is absolutely criminal. It really is. All that work that's gone into making that loaf of bread, or bringing up that cow only to be killed for what? For you to chuck it away in the bin again? It's a criminal. But they don't do that anymore. That you have to order something and they bring it to you, right? And I think my nephew's wife said there were 5 items to choose from and 4 puddings. And she said it's not what it was. And the excuse they give is because of COVID. People are touching things. Well, the all-you-can-eat pizza buffet is exactly the same. People are touching the thing. People are touching the drinks machine to do all that. You know. Well, that's the other thing in the pizza buffet. The puddings have disappeared. Puddings have disappeared. Now, they used to have an ice cream machine there, which, I mean, that they do seem to require a lot of maintenance, these ice cream machines. Certainly, when we were there, they kept filling up this thing. I think they've been there twice, filling up this thing with this ice cream stuff that comes out of a carton. They were constantly doing it. That was replaced by fruit. You could pick up apples and I think oranges. Well, there isn't any there at all now, or at least we didn't see any. No puddings. It's just the pizza buffet and pasta, which is both quite acceptable, very nice, but no puddings. But if that's touching, you know, why are they using that as the excuse? I think they've just cut back. They've cut back. Not only have they cut back, they've put the price up. So the price of one of those meals at night, okay, is 25 quid. I'm sorry. You're not, I mean, Toby Carver is not even a tenner. It's 25 quid for the meal, and apparently that doesn't include drinks. So she was saying. Now, I'm not sure of this. I haven't looked at it, but if she says it, you know, I'm just passing this on to you. 25 quid. It may include drinks. Maybe she make a mistake there. I don't know. But 25 quid in a basic restaurant in Legoland. It's not a 5-star. It's not. It's. I would put it as a 3-star. 2.5 to 3 star. No, that's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly eatable food. But it's not a 5-star restaurant. Mind you, if it was a 5-star restaurant, you'd be paying a lot more than 25 quid, admittedly. But 25 quid, you know, say we'd all had dinner. Right, Stacey, 25, Gary, 25, me, 25, and I think the children were £9.99 or something like that. Well, say goodbye to £100. Silly money. So she cancelled the dinner and got the money back off that. I think that's outrageous. There were things there that were expensive, I think. You know, cup of tea, 2 quid. 2 quid for a cup of tea. There's something else there. Oh, of course, the Lego is expensive. But then again, Lego is expensive anyway. You've only got to type it into the YouTube or into Amazon or something like that. Lego is expensive. Often you find special offers on the Lego, though. Do people sell Lego on eBay? I suppose they do, really. And what's the chances that you're going to get a piece missing from that one? Eh? Oh, hang on. What's that? You might have something missing there. But apart from those couple of little moans there, a fantastic day. A fantastic day. The most important thing is that the children had a good day. Not only that, I got to meet one of the other Reach on Air presenters, Josh Hornsey. You often hear him late at night. He does like a very upbeat, commercial sounding radio show, like commercial radio used to be. You know, not too long ago, actually. It's very, very slick. Very, not like mine. Mine just rambles on, doesn't it? A little bit like this programme. We never actually get to the point, but that's okay. We don't worry too much about that. But Josh Hornsey, he works at Legoland, and when I got there, he'd already sent us a text and saying, I am at here. We weren't there. And he sent me another text saying, I am here, and we weren't there either. Then I sent him a text saying, we are here, and he wasn't there. Then I sent him a text when we were at the pizza place. We're having pizza now. He said, oh, that's what I'm having. I said, like, are you here? No, I'm in the other restaurant. And then we went into the ice cream place after the excellent pizza buffet. And we walked in there, and in there I said, we're having ice cream now. And I took a photo. That was me and Gary in the photograph, just like that, so he could see it was the ice cream place. And we're standing in the queue, and he turns up. He turned up in the ice cream place just to say hello. And it's really nice that I've met someone else on Reach at last, on Reach on Air, which is fantastic, because I've never met any of the people on there, not even my very good friend Ross Pattelt, who's doing some extra shows at the moment. I think he was on last night, actually. I don't know if he's on tonight or not, or in the afternoon. Might be on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you want me to have a look? Let me have a quick look for you. Hang on a minute. Where are we? Reach on Air. I think he might be on this afternoon at 2. Let's have a look. No, he's not on this afternoon at 2 after all. Oh, he's not on at all. Oh, there he is. 1 o'clock this afternoon. Ross Patzel's on, so I'll try and give him a little listen after. I'll be having probably having my lunch then after swimming. Yeah. Oh, and Josh is on this morning at 10 o'clock. Oh, he's on straight after me at 10. Oh, that's nice. Oh, we'll do a little bit of a handover then. Anyway, so Josh is on the radio this morning at 10 o'clock. As I say, his job is at Legoland, and I was asking him if he enjoys. He loves it there. He loves it in there, but only for another 2 weeks because then the season finishes. I think he said they open for 3 days or something around Halloween, but they don't need the staff that they have there at the moment. Now, were they short-staffed? They weren't. They didn't seem to be short-staffed out on the rides. They've certainly not enough people serving ice cream. And somewhere else that we went and we thought, where's all the stuff? It was like one person serving ice cream in this ice cream place, which you paid extra for. I have to say, a very large ice cream was given out to everyone. You saw these little children out there, 8 years old, with these ice creams that were like this. Can't complain about the size of the ice cream, not at all. Can I have some of my tea, please? Hang on. Price of the ice cream? Yeah, I mean, to be expected in somewhere like that. I didn't think they were vastly expensive like the dinner at night that they were charging 25 quid for. I think they were about £3 or £4 for an ice cream, which I think was fairly reasonable. But you didn't have to worry about it being too small because these things were enormous. It just took 20 minutes to blooming well go and buy one. Anyway, back to Josh. So he was in there and he was travelling around doing all sorts of things. I think he texted me and said they were a little bit short-staffed. That's why he kept having to move around. And one of the things he did was give us all a little bit of a demonstration on a jet ski. So part of the Legoland thing is they've got this big pond thing, like a small lake really, in the middle. Now usually you get a pirate show on there. Pirates! Shiver me timbers, boy! Shiver me timbers! They have this pirate thing going on around this lake. Unfortunately, because it was very windy, it was very sunny, lovely and warm walking around during the daytime, but it was also very windy. Oddly enough, the wind wasn't very cold because that's coming from the south yesterday, where in fact it's turned around today. It'll be very, very cold today, it's saying on the weather, or it will at least feel much colder than it did yesterday. But it was coming from the south. So even though it was windy, it was warm. But that meant they couldn't do the pirate show because I think there's a bit where they're climbing up and going over bridges and things like that, and it would make it a little bit dangerous. So they couldn't do that. However, we got a little bit of a display on the jet ski from Josh, and I managed to capture that on video. So if you've ever been on a jet ski, it does look a fun thing to do. It's not my sort of thing. I don't like all these fast things, and I quite like to poodle along at 2 miles an hour, just like this show, to be honest. That's why we never get anywhere, right? Because we're just too slow to catch anyone else up. But we're happy sitting here doing that. Okay, so here is a very short video of Josh from Reardon Air on his jet ski with sound. You'll like this. There you go. That's just the end of what he did there, obviously. That looks quite a lot of fun, doesn't it? I didn't realise it goes up on the thing now. I thought it could only travel on water. It seems to go up on that thing, but that does look quite a lot of fun. Whether or not you could take it up, I mean, a little boy would love it. Actually, a little girl would love it as well. A child would love it on there, presumably. Can you take children on jet skis? Anyone done that before? Does look great fun. And it got to 6 o'clock, and they were going back to the hotel. And Gary said to me, "Do you want to change before dinner?" Because I'd arranged to take them out. I hadn't arranged it. I'd offered to take them out to dinner to TGI Fridays, which is in Bracknell. And he said, "Do you want to change before dinner?" I said, "Like what for?" He said, "Oh, I thought you might want to change." And I thought, does he think I'm too scruffy to go somewhere like TGI Friday? It's basically a McDonald's, isn't it? But then, of course, I had wet tracksuit bottoms. Although I had the new T-shirt, my legs were still soaking wet. And I said, well, that's a good idea. He said, well, give us your postal address. I mean, he knows where I live, but can't remember how to get here because it's ages since I've been to my house. And we'll do that. So this would have been about 5 o'clock. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll try and grab an hour's sleep because, of course, I hadn't had my sleep in the afternoon. And I was really tired. Really, really tired. So I left them there, jumped back into my car, came home, come straight to bed, got into bed about 5:30. And I left my mobile phone on and I texted him just as I lay there in bed, ring us when you're 10 minutes away, be as late as you like. Because I usually go to sleep for 2 hours. Anyway, I think I got off within 10, 15 minutes, sort of about 5:45 or something like that. And I was in this dream. I can't remember what the dream was. And then the phone rang. And I woke up and I thought, oh, what day is it today? I didn't remember. His phone's ringing. I thought, oh, it's Gary. All right, Gary. Hello. You sound like you've just woken up. Yes. He said, we're about 9 minutes away. Okay. So I got straight up. Now, I really need a cup of tea before I get going. Certainly in the morning. It's that. That's every morning. One of those to get going in the morning, right? Okay. Even at night time, if I'm going to work or something on a Friday or a Saturday night, I'll have my little sleep. I'll get up half an hour before I'm due to go to work. And the kettle will be boiling because that's all timed. Come on, and I go downstairs. The water's been boiled. I just boil it again, pour the water in the cup with the tea bag, get myself ready for work. And it's like a portable cup, like a plastic cup you take in the car. Take the cup, and I've got my tea, okay? And that's all right. Within a few minutes, I'm fine. But I didn't have tea before he got here, and I thought that's okay. I'll have some at TGI Fridays, right? So I was going to go in their car. I'd put my car back in the garage. So I was going to go in their car, and they come round, and Stacey and Gary are in the front. I said, do you want me to get in here? Of course, I completely forgot there's the 2 children's seats in the back of the car because they have to have these by law, don't they? And he said, well, can you fit in that gap there? And I said, oh, I'll go and get my car out then. So I got my car out the garage, and they followed me down to TGI Fridays. I think Evie came in the car. She likes getting in the car with me, Evie. Great niece Evie. Because you see, she's got her own playlist on my mobile phone now. Where's that gone? Where have I left the phone? Oh, there it is. She's got her own Spotify playlist on my phone now. Oh yeah. So she gets in there. Can we have my playlist on? Of course you can, darling. Oh yeah. Put that on in the car for her. And when she likes Taylor Swift and stuff, rubbish like that. Although it's not rubbish, it's their music, isn't it? You have to remember that, So when you say, because you're from the, if you're from the 60s, early 60s like me, I like 70s and 80s music and 90s. I like all music, but that's kind of mine when I grew up. If you were born in the 1950s, you're like something earlier. It's no use you saying the kids' rubbish is music. What you mean is the kids' rubbish is music to you. You've got to be a bit open to what they like as well. Even this, it's awful. I hate it. Even the drill music that some of these youngsters like, I find it offensive, that music. But it doesn't mean it's crap. I'm not too keen on really heavy metal. But I could go to a heavy metal concert and say, I don't like this, but it's really good. You have to accept the fact that that's their music. It's no use running him down. Just, what a load of crap this music is. I'm not listening to this. Well, go then. Go. Perhaps sometimes it's better not to say anything, Sometimes it's better not to say anything. Old Father David, when he was down at the church, saying, sometimes if you've got nothing good to say nothing. And he's got a point there, unless, of course, you're doing a radio show or something like that. Otherwise, you'd never have anything to talk about, would you? Huh? Anyway, so she's in the car, she's playing this music, and we got into the car park. And the TGI Fridays is about a 5-minute walk from the car. So we pulled into this car park. It's a bit like American, this car park. So it's got all shops around it, like an open thing. And she says, where is it? I said, well, we've got to walk up there. She says, we've got to walk. I said, yes, we have. This is Evie. She don't want to walk. Dear me. Yes, you have got. What would you want me to do? Carry her? Well, I carried her in the blooming in Legoland. Can I get on your back? So I got on my back. Well, she didn't get on my back. She got on my shoulders. But she's not heavy. So she's on my shoulders like this, 8 years old, you know. Was it 8 or 9? She's 8. She's up in the air like that. And I can't always do that. It depends how my knees are. My knees were particularly good yesterday. And I'm walking around, and now and again I stop and I tip over like that. This is at Legoland. I just think she's going to fall off. Then she made me run like a horse. Oh, what fun. What fun we had yesterday. So we got out of the car, and it wasn't raining yet. It was a little bit of rain, not too bad at all. Just a little bit coming down. Walked up to Bracknell. How much further is it, Uncle Chris? Another, Stacey said, it's another mile. It was another mile at all. And we got to TGI Fridays, we got to the desk, and surprisingly busy. Now, this was Wednesday night. So I didn't bother booking in or anything. I said, have you got a table for us? How many? 5. He said, oh. He said, well, oddly enough, we're actually quite busy tonight, which is unusual. I'll go and have a look. So he came back, and we went in this booth for like 8 people. So we got in there. And we sat down, and very quickly, lovely young lady, ever so happy. You know what? I don't know if you've been in TGI Fridays. They're trained to be annoyingly happy. Do you know what I mean? Annoyingly. Hello, my name. I know what name was Karen. Shall we call her Karen? Hello, my name's Karen. Welcome to TGI Fridays. Have you had a lovely day? We've been to. Oh, did you really? What was your favourite? Friendly. Okay, that's the name. That's TGI Fridays. You expect that when you don't sit there and be miserable. You know, just because they're trying to be happy, try and be a bit nicer to them. Don't look at them like they're stupid. They're all young people in there. They're all trying to earn a living. You know, all right. So she's taking this order and drinks, and I said, can I take your drinks order first, please? So they're ordering. I said, I'll have a tea, please. Oh, I don't think we got tea. And immediately I thought, oh, you've got to be joking, because I hadn't had my cup of tea. I hadn't had my cup of tea after I'd got up. I thought, I'll get one in there. No tea. I mean, that really is bad news for me. No tea. She said, I think we've got coffee. She said, but I've never seen a tea bag in here. Really? I'm sure we've had tea in there before. I said, and it's all like soft, fizzy drinks. Now, remember, I just woke up. I know some of you probably are quite happy to have a Coca-Cola or something like that in the morning. Oh, I can't be doing with that. But that was all I could have. So I reluctantly ordered a Coca-Cola and put that down. Are you all ready to order food? I said, yes, I think they are. If you just... Stacey ordered hers, and she ordered the children, and then Gary, and she came to me, and I'll be honest, I'd had, I don't know what it was, I'm not used to eating sort of at night time anymore, and I really didn't fancy anything. I didn't feel quite right. That might have been the fact that I hadn't had the tea, and I was not awake. I wasn't there. Again, I'd only had about an hour's sleep instead of 2 hours, and I'm kind of, you know, where that's asleep and that's awake. I'm probably here. And I'm trying to switch myself on, which would have been easy with a cup of tea, but there was no tea. No tea. And do you know what? I really don't want anything at the moment. Oh, don't you? You know, shock, horror. Oh, my God. Customer in here, you know, doesn't want anything to eat. So I didn't order anything. I didn't have anything at all. Three of the drinks came over immediately. Okay, we sat there for ages, and these other drinks didn't come. And eventually, the girl came back, and Stacey called. I said, "Excuse me, we haven't had the other 2 drinks." She said, "Oh, haven't you? Did I take the order?" And she's got this thing out. Oh, she said these ones are at the bar. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Lots of apologies. And she brought over the other 2 drinks. I think they were orange drinks or something like that, orange juices from the bar. That was for great nephew Harry and nephew Gary. So they got their drinks now, and we're waiting for this food. And we're waiting. It didn't appear to us that they were short-staffed. There were lots of very, very pleasant, hard-working young people in there running around this place. But this food just wasn't coming. And then Evie said, "Oh, I think there's Harry's hot dog on there. I can see Harry's hot dog." And it sat there, and it sat there, and it sat there, admittedly under hot lamp type things, whatever those things are on the counter. The two boys who were flipping the burgers and doing all the cooking, they seemed to be constantly working. It's not like they were hanging around and talking or anything. But my nephew's wife noticed that the girl who was serving us kept going to this other table where there's a baby and kept going coo 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 coochie coochie coo to this baby, completely unaware of what was going on around her. But she wasn't nasty in any way. She just didn't seem to be concentrating on the table. Now, I've never worked in a restaurant. I don't know how it works, but I feel if I was working there and I just served you, and I hadn't been called up to take your food over within, I don't know, a given amount of time. Shall we say 10 minutes? Burgers and chips, come on. We're not doing anything special like in a Gordon Ramsay place. Burgers and chips. If it hadn't come within 10 minutes, I would have gone over there and, excuse me, where's their food? But no, nothing. I don't know the exact timings. We weren't sitting there looking at our watches. We just noticed a long period of time going through. And I think once again, eventually, did she say? No, she didn't say anything. Eventually, this food came over at last. So they're sitting there eating their food. And then Stacey said to me, well, where's my loaded chips? This is chips with cheese on it. Now, it's not for me. If there's not enough calories in a portion of chips, well, you start pouring blooming cheese over the damn thing as well, is there really? So she's had her meal, and they've all finished now. And we said to the girl, excuse me. No, it was a bloke, but lad came over. Again, very pleasant indeed. Excuse me, we've ordered loaded chips. Oh, have you? Oh, and there they are, sat over there. Don't know how long they'd been sitting there. Anyway, he brought them over, apologised profusely, and then told us he'd take that off the bill. And we waited so long. Fine, okay, fair enough. You've tried to make amends. We get that. I understand that. Yep, thank you very much. Thank you very much. She sat there and apparently she said, I can't remember what. There was something wrong with them because it was obvious that they'd been sitting there for so long. Right. So she had that. And then a long period of time passed again, and then they asked us if we wanted to see the, or I think actually Stacey asked to see the dessert menu. So the dessert menu came. I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll have a look. I must admit, I had about 5 of Evie's chips. She does not like to give her food away. The thing is with Evie, she orders all this food, and she can never eat it all. She can't eat it all. But if you try and have some of it while it's sitting on her plate, she does her nut. Anyway, I had about 5 of Evie's chips, only because they were sitting there. I wasn't really hungry, and by now I've switched back on. I've gone like that suddenly. After about an hour, I was switched on, even without my tea. Right, so I'm now on air, so to speak. Dessert menu come over, and I had a quick look at that. Oh, shall I have some of this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want any of this. So I didn't. But Stacey ordered something. I don't think Gary or Harry had something, and Evie ordered something. That was it. And off she went again. Right? While this is all going on, several times throughout the night, Fridays is quite known for that, we had Happy Birthday being played. And what happens, all the staff go over to a table and Happy Birthday. They don't sing Happy Birthday to you. It's like another thing. Please, TGI Fridays, please make an announcement. Jonathan today is 17 years old. Happy birthday, happy. And they do this clap thing, which is quite nice for the person concerned. Except the rest of the restaurant is now being ignored. And I think that might be something to do with why we had to wait so blooming long all the time. So we've ordered these puddings. And once again, we sat there and we sat there and we sat there and there's nothing happening. Now, how long does it take to cut a piece of cake or empty a piece of ice cream onto a bowl? Is that a 20-minute job? I don't think so. And we waited and we waited and we waited. And the girl was coming past and, excuse me, we still haven't had our puddings yet. Oh, haven't we? She said, I'll tell you what, just cancel. Oh, they might be ready outside now. And she said, what's happened is that one of the Don't laugh. One of the people in the restaurant, one of the members of staff had collapsed in the kitchen. So the manager was now running the kitchen and she was running the restaurant. And she was very, very sorry that all this has happened. But she'd go outside and see if those puddings are ready. And she went out and stayed. At this point, I would have said, no, we'll just go. We'll just get us the bill. Because I'd had enough now. I hadn't even wanted something to eat. I'd had enough of bloody well sitting there waiting to be served. And she went out and come back again. She said, I'm really sorry that they haven't done them yet. You must be joking. Anyway, I didn't complain. Believe it or not, I didn't complain one bit. But Stacey said, all right, I said, just cancel them. And then she said to Stacey, oh, well, we'll take those off the bill then. It's too bloody right you'll take them off the bill. We haven't had them. You know, I sometimes wonder if all these people that do various jobs, not just in restaurants, you know, they just learn what to say off a script. Oh, well, we'll take them off the bill though. Well, we haven't had them. That might be a good idea. And off she went. She come back with a bill, which unfortunately was given to Stacey, and it shouldn't have been. It should have come straight to me, but there we go. And then Evie picked it up as well off Stacey. She said, oh my God, that's £68. And I'm like, well, yes, it is, but you know it's going to be expensive if you come here. Otherwise, you don't go in. But it's as simple as that, you know. I don't go in expensive restaurants unless it's a really posh hotel. I don't go in TGI Fridays or anything like that anymore. But it was a treat for them, so that's quite all right, you know. Anyway, so she comes over with a touching machine, you know, that touch machine thing. So I got my mobile phone. Sorry, I've just banged this microphone in. What have I done there? Has that thing come out? No. So I just touch this machine and the bill's there, you know, burgers that, So Stacey, she goes through it all. She wanted to go through it all. And everything that had been taken off was said to be taken off, was taken off indeed. And around come the thing. And at the bottom it said gratuities recommended 15%. Nope. No tip. No tip. Sorry. No tip. And I never, ever not leave a tip. I'm usually a very good tipper. Okay? Afternoon tea, Claridge's, tip 20, 30, 40 pounds. I'll tip them. Fantastic service. Fantastic service. Even in like a normal restaurant, and I don't go to restaurants much, really. 5 to 10 pounds tip, 15 pounds maybe, depending how well you've done the job. For the first time yesterday in years, no tip. It's all very well you coming over, being smiley, taking things off bills when they should be taken off the bills. But it was just so slow, I never gave a tip. No, I'm sorry. And don't say to me, oh, well, they're only young, they're just trying to earn a living. Yeah, by doing a job correctly. It's not my fault you're short-staffed. Don't open then. Don't open then, or let less people in. It's not my fault. And for the first time in decades, I never left a tip yesterday. And that was TGI Fridays in Bracknell. Terrible. Terrible. As I say, the friendliness of the staff, second to none. Fantastically friendly, smiling, happy, full of apologies when something goes wrong. The trouble is, so much did go wrong. You know, so why would I give a tip if I've been sitting there waiting? Oh, come on, come on. Other people wouldn't be so patient. They would have walked out. No, but dreadful service in TGI Fridays. And it's a shame, really. We have been before. The last time I went, I thought it was them that were there last time. I'm sure it was them that were there last time. And my mate came along last time. And it was great service, but we went in the afternoon last time and it wasn't so busy, perhaps that's why. But this time it was terrible service. I don't want to go back there now. Not really. Don't really want to go back there. It is pricey in there. I think they were doing... I would have had the vegan burger, and I've had the vegan burger in there before, and there's nothing wrong with the food. Just want to point that out. There's nothing wrong with the food there either. It's lovely. The food is lovely, but the service was just so slow. So slow. And you come out with all these excuses. Well, I'm sorry someone collapsed in the kitchen. I'm sorry this happened, but we are sitting here waiting, and we're paying you quite a lot of money to be sitting here waiting as well. And that was it. And then after that, we came out of there, and I said, look, do you want some cake? Why don't we go over to the supermarket? We'll get a cake and come back to my house, because they don't come to my house. And no one comes here, really. Only my best mate. That's the only visitor I ever have here. No one comes in the house. So we went over to Morrison's. As we left TGI Fridays, it was pouring down with rain. Absolutely bucketing down with rain yesterday. Was it where you were? It was terrible. And we got soaking wet going back to the car, which was 10 miles. Well, it wasn't 10 miles. I bet it felt 10 miles to the great niece Evie. She jumped in the car with me. And we drove the very short distance to Morrison's, which was kind of at the bottom of the car park. It was a big car park. And as we got to Morrison's, I parked right outside the front door. And I said to Evie, right, get ready, Evie. When I open the door, run to that door. So she opened the door, running straight into Morrison's. A security guard looked at us as we were about to do a smash and grab, I think. Anyway, so we walked in there. We went over to the cakes and bread section. And I bought a few other bits and pieces while I was there, some bread and whatnot. And they chose some cakes. I think she had little mini donuts. Harry had chocolate eclairs and various cakes and things. And we ran back to the car again. It was pouring down with rain. And they all came back here. And it was lovely to have them here, really. To have, because this is I'm in a free bed here, you know. It's a family home. It should really have a family in it, not some poor old codger on his own. And they came in, and I made them all tea. I didn't think they drank the tea actually. I made them all tea. Put a bit of telly on. The two children wanted to have a play on the piano, so I turned that on as well. And it was lovely, you know, just sitting there talking about stuff. And telly was on in the background, and. Yeah, very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. And then they went about quite late. They left here at about 10:30 or something like that, which is really late for them. And after they left, I came back here to prepare today's programme, really. Bits and pieces, which it looks like I didn't really have to do. Because we're only 8 minutes away from the end now, and I've just talked about Legoland, so that was all a waste of time, but better to prepare more than you actually need, so if you ever get stuck or something like that. And that was it, and I got to bed around about 12:15. I watched a little bit of news on the telly, because I was watching all about the pandemic and all that business, and went to sleep, and here we are this morning, with itchy eyes. The eyes are itching this morning. And that was my day yesterday. As I say, I'll put together a little Legoland video, which I did yesterday, and put that up, stick that up on the internet at some point. All right. Okay, let's read some of your messages on the show this morning. On the old text, here we go. Good morning to Paul in Cornwall. Morning, Paul, who said it's cold and raining in Cornwall this morning. Yes, it's been horrendous here, to be honest. Awful. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be quite bright out. At the moment, I'm getting up 6:30 to do this, and it's pitch black when I get up, and it changes as the hour goes on. Usually, even at 7:30, it's not. It's still fairly black out there. Right now, it's turned to daylight out there. It's quite nice. Good morning to Diane Jebb. Morning to Jason Hughes. Hello to Gary Ross, who's laughing his head off. He says, "Good morning, Chris. If you don't take your receipt, imagine getting roughed up by a couple of security guards." Oh, yes, you're right there, Gary. Yeah, but I don't want one of the fat old codgers. You know, the alpha male sort, Gary. Oh, don't you hate those? Yeah, mate, I can do anything I want. I can't bear them. Alpha males, don't you hate them? You do what I say and I won't listen to you at all. One of those, no. We want someone like Mark Bowles. That's what we want to be roughed up by. Something like that, thank you very much. That's what we want to be roughed up by. Not one of the alpha males, or they're just horrible people. Great big fat middle-aged blokes, aren't they? A bit like myself. Oh, don't. I looked at myself in the mirror. There was a particular... that's right. There was a particular photograph taken yesterday. You know, on some of these rides in Legoland and Disney and all those places like that, they have, like, cameras on various rides, and they take a photograph of you. There was one particular photograph, and there was Harry. And was it me and Evie? I can't remember who was in the photograph. I can't remember. But there in the corner was this fat old balding bloke. Oh, my God, it was me. Awful picture. And I said to Gary, do I really look like that? And he didn't answer me. I've got to go. I think I might have to go back to Slimming World. I'm not going to lose it on my own, am I? It is. It looks awful. And as I would expect from Stacey, she said, I think it's probably the angle of the camera, which is exactly something Mum would say, isn't it? I noticed Harry, great nephew Harry, is very much attached to his mum. Very, very much attached to his mum, which is nice, isn't it, really? And I was saying to him, I said, that's nice, you know. And I was the same with my mum. I always wanted to be with my mum, not my dad. That doesn't mean I didn't like my dad. It's just how it is, I think, with mothers and sons. And Harry is 7 now and is attached to his mum all the time. And I was saying to Harry, I said, that's nice, being attached to your mum. Remember, there's a few things when you get older that you need to know. Number one, mum knows everything. You may not think she does. She knows everything that you're doing. Don't try and pull the wool over your mum's eyes. She knows. When you lie to her, she will know. When you say you're doing something and you're doing something else, she'll know. Okay? You know, mum will never let you down. She'll probably defend you even when you're wrong. And I'm like, mum will keep all your secrets. She will know stuff about you that you know about yourself that you don't think anyone else knows. But she will know, and she will keep it a secret until she dies. If you ever need to talk to anyone, talk to mum. She will be able to help you, or she will go out of her way to help you in any way. And that's the whole thing with sons and mums. If you were lucky enough, if you're a man and you had a mother like that, you were very lucky. I did as well. I did the same. I did stuff that I thought mum won't know anything about that. Of course she does. She knows everything about you, everything, but she will never say it. And it's just nice to see that. I think the same sort of thing with fathers and girls as well, isn't it? Fathers and their daughters. I don't know why it works like that, but it certainly was like that in our family. Like my dad and my sister as well, you know. So that's nice, isn't it? Anyway, Gary says, imagine getting roughed up by a couple of security guards. Well, yes, please. Can I have photographs? Can I choose the security guards who are going to rough me up? John Parrish is there. Good morning, John. He sold the caravan back to the owners. We pick up the cash on Saturday. Paid £10,000 for it, plus £2,500 for decking 2 years ago. How much did we get? 550 quid. I told you about this before now, boys and girls. You buy a caravan, you have no rights whatsoever. No rights. And some of them are run by real charlatans. And unfortunately, that's the site that John was on there. He said, £550. They only want the pitch for a new van. Is it worth arguing for decking and still 5 months on pitch fees left? No. They can relax once paid. Was it 2 years? You could always try and convince yourself, John, that you'd basically just paid rent of £5,000 a year or whatever it works out at. Look at it like that. You know, if you'd have gone to rent a property, what would that have cost you over that period of time? Probably worked out the same. So convince yourself you've lost nothing, John. But that's how it is with the caravan. Not on my site, fortunately. I'm very lucky. Very lucky on my site. Morning to Shania. Good morning, Shania. Look at the time, dear. Good morning to Jeff. He's had his COVID booster. I've got mine tomorrow, actually, Jeff. My COVID booster will be tomorrow. Yes, I'm having an asthma review and a COVID booster. 2 lots of coughing at the same time tomorrow. God, I won't be able to stop coughing, will I, eh? Shocking. Thank you, Jeff. I hope your arm's okay there. Morning to Maureen. Morning, Maureen. And Rachel said, glad you and your family had a lovely day out. She says it was pouring down in Lincolnshire, absolutely throwing it down. Had a thunderstorm as well yesterday, so thank you for that, Rachel. I'm sorry that we're all going to get very wet. There's no rain here this morning yet, incidentally, I'm pleased to say. Anyway, that's it for the show this morning. We'll do another chat show tomorrow morning, 7:30 on this channel. If you're around in half an hour's time, I'm on the radio. That's where I am. It's reachonair.com. That starts at 9 o'clock. Music, chat, and fun for a whole hour. Okay, reachonair.com at just after 9 o'clock. You can also listen on your smart speaker or mobile phone. You can ask Siri to play it. Just say, "Hey Siri, play Reach or Near," and she will burst into life and play them. All right, Google speakers as well. Thank you very much, my darlings. If you're not joining us for the radio show, thanks for joining us and have a very good morning. Bye-bye now.